Labus.
Labia.
Labus.
Labus Kerman.
Oh, she's the
Everybody's last name is Kerman, by the way. It's all just one giant family.
one massive incestuous population on this planet, which apparently has no supporting structures apart from the Kerbal spaceport.
Nope, that's it. Empty planet.
Only buildings.
Just got a space station.
That's cool. That's cool. Everything's
Everybody lives on the space station.
Okay, so
I think we're slowly populating the space station because there's obviously something wrong with this planet. I mean, look at it. It's barely been polluted at all. Anyway, yeah. Hi, Masami.
I mean, you put down terms that were very tempting and spicy, so of course I had to come.
Wait, are you super quiet, or is that just me?
I was
Yeah.
not
I'm
just
probably
you.
super quiet. Is that any better?
Let's do our leveling.
okay, 100
Level
meters per
me.
second will definitely get me back into the atmosphere. Delightful.
There we go.
Am I level now?
Yep, now you're talking in the yellow. Everybody should be talking in the yellow.
Yellow.
And it was all yellow. Good song.
That song puts me to fucking sleep, and not in a good way.
Hey, we didn't get a strike for the Dave Matthews song last week.
Hell yeah.
Amazing.
You know why? Dave Matthews' people are good people, and they don't give a shit.
Or they're too fucking obscure, no one cares anymore.
Shut up!
Nobody knows who
Fuck
Dave
off.
Matthews is anymore.
That's just rude. Poor
Have
Dave.
you met me?
Poor Dave. I respect Dave.
Why?
Shut up.
I'm not. Well, I'm just curious. I mean, you said it. What is going on the space station besides science?
Science. I just transmitted some science back home. I actually need to rotate the crew out. It's a mission I was given to send some crew home.
What amazes me is that in the Kerbal universe, they have made science much like we have money, where it can be both tangible and intangible. Therefore, the generation of science on the station can be transmitted into digital form and sent back to Earth. I'm sorry, back to Kerbal, and then reconstituted into physical science.
Well, I mean, science is just data. This is the research lab where the science data is processed. I mean, it is actually called the processing lab. And then, yeah, I don't know.
So you use the transporter device to beam data from the station to the planet?
Well, no, like, I collect scientific experiments using my actual science devices. You know, all the various things I have down in, not that side, on this side, on my little science equipments. So I do the experiments, and then the data gets, because I've already done these experiments and harvested the science from them, like the raw science from them, I can't do another one, because like, if I do like a radiation scan, it says 0 science, but it's got 60 data. Now that data can be processed in a processing lab and converted into science. You can see I've got 500 data stored, which means I basically did the full suite of experiments and then stored all the data in here. And I've got 2 scientists, Lizwell and Kriskus Kerman, in here processing the data. And they are converting it to data at a rate of 6.7 science per day. So I just got 49 science from them, so they've been at it for somewhere in the ballpark of, 8 or 9 days? 8 days?
Isn't it fantastic that these people don't eat?
Yeah, there's a bunch of mods people have made for various life support needs. I've never felt much necessity to use them, but they're out there.
There's that fucking...
I've also...
There's a whole space engineer mod that I was looking at that's been refined over years for adding growable crops, and it gives you a hunger need, and it gives you a water need, and it gives you... Yeah, all that.
Yeah, I used it. It's tedious.
It's, yeah...
And you
it's
create
still
waste.
And you create waste. That's right.
and you can reprocess your waste.
It comes
Or you
with
can just throw piles of poop on the ground, which is what I used to do. It looks surprisingly like a rock. You poop rocks, and it
I
rolls
put it
down
on
the
the
slope.
ground.
You poop
It
space
just
rocks.
rolls away.
Oh, that's
Okay.
great. Yeah, so you can have a ball
Concentra-
pit, but the ball pit is full of
Mhm.
poop balls.
In
Now that's actually a fun idea.
Yeah, this is why we used to play Space
turn off the
Engineer.
floating object limit,
Yeah.
or like turn the limit up to like a super high number, and then just fill a giant pit with poo balls.
Poo balls. Wasn't that the
Oh,
name of a
boy.
famous scientist or something? Professor Poo Balls? I'm remembering an episode of something. It doesn't matter. Welcome to the Church of Chonkwij podcast, everybody. My name is DrNiggle. I'm joined tonight by Kosen, Masami, OmegaConstruct, Zerburn. We're still... Omega is still playing Kerbal, and we're still finding... we're learning new things every day. Yeah. It's been a relaxing... It's been a relaxing past week for me. Nothing stressful happened at all. I'm in a really good mindset. I'm not full of rage. I'm good.
I'm pretty sure you're still full of rage with that.
I am.
I mean, at this point, I am in full belief that at least half of us in this room run off of pure spite.
Fuck that. We all run
Half?
off of pure spite.
we
I'm
can,
like
we can...
200%.
I am a good person, Kosen. I don't know what I have no spite in my. Never mind. I couldn't finish that and be truthful about it.
I don't know how you could exist and say that.
It's our once a week spite-a-thon.
Spite fest.
Who is the target of our rage this week? I'm gonna save the Tucker Carlson article for last because I read that and that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty great, wasn't it?
That's just great. Who is deserving of spite and or ire? Disney. Definitely Disney, actually.
Always Disney.
So, people may remember a game, an MMO, called Club Penguin, which launched in 2005, and yeah, it was a fun place. It was a fun hangout for a lot of people, and the company shut down. Let's see. First opened to the public in 2005. Success attracted Disney in 2007. New Horizon was scooped up for $350 million, and 10 years later, Disney pulled the plug in favor of successor Club Penguin Island, which in turn was shut down in late 2018. However, people managed to create their own Club Penguin servers, so despite Disney shutting these servers down and people could no longer go in and socialize as beautiful penguins and butterflies and whatever the fuck else you were able to be in Club Penguin, they ran private servers, and they got people back, and people fucking loved this shit. And Disney was like, no. And so they launched a police raid in the state of California, I believe. They arrested 3 people who, 3 people had been arrested under suspicion of copyright. And this is in the UK, excuse me. And, yeah, Disney had a couple people arrested, shut down these servers. We're like, no, fuck you. So you're not allowed to enjoy Club Penguin anymore. We decided to take the servers down. You're not allowed to enjoy the game anymore. And if you try to, we're gonna arrest you.
Jesus Christ.
Moral of the story.
I don't think that's the moral of the story.
Moral of the story is Disney doesn't like fun. Fuck you if you want to have fun with Disney. No, fuck you and everything that you love.
Yeah, if you're having fun, then you better be paying Disney some fun money.
Speaking of which, the Thor Love and Thunder trailer came out today.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Oh, great! They're still pumping out shit. It's for fun.
Yep. The level of disrespect that is shown to Chris Pratt's character is amazing, and I'm here for it.
That's great. I'm glad that people are still throwing enormous sums of money at Disney. Yeah. Anyway, I posted this article because I remember when we covered the Club Penguin shutdown, and it goes to show you, folks, if you love something, then you
Better
let it
hope
die.
it's not Disney.
If you love something, you better hope it's not owned by Disney.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
like,
free.
in some ways, though, I do sympathize with Disney a little bit. Like, it was a place that was supposed to be for kids, and then all these, it's all being done with private servers that are filled with, like, pretty much the worst of the internet. I mean, I'll put it this way: 4chan really likes Club Penguin,
No, that's Weeboos.
Furries.
and
That's a Weeboo hotel, not Club Penguin.
there's a lot of trolls in the Club Penguin world, a lot of racism, a lot of just all the great stuff that the internet has. And then there was also some concerns about pedophiles and child grooming, because kids who still want to play Club Penguin are going to private servers and there's no moderators and no oversight. So yeah, I can kind of sympathize.
That is not, first of all, that is not what Disney was concerned about at all. Okay, you can have your valid argument about how children should not be exposed to that horse shit on the internet, and I will agree with you. Disney was exclusively interested in their bottom line. So the welfare of children has never been in the crosshairs of Disney.
Disney using copyright to get it taken down, it might be the method by which they were able to do it, but it's impossible to know their motivations. But I mean, yeah, it's Disney. They're, greedy as all hell. So yeah, but I have heard the child safety argument being made in favor of shutting down Club Penguin,
which is a totally valid argument, and I believe that we covered that in the past. But realistically, that's not attached exclusively to Club Penguin. That's the entire goddamn internet.
Certainly, there's no doubt about that.
Whatever. So yeah, they basically. I don't know. Yeah, however you want to frame this, I think that Disney is. I just generally dislike Disney, and most of the stuff that they do, and most of the products they put out.
I mean, honestly, I don't really care, and I have a hard time feeling bad for people who are upset that Club Penguin is getting taken down.
See, that's the thing. I mean, it really. Once you get into it, I mean, it's neat, it's novel, but it's definitely a game from 2005. I'm not sure why anyone would still be super enthused about this.
I mean, isn't it also kind of one of those games that's not really a game as much as just like a weird online social space? I don't even know like what the actual game entails.
I believe it is an online social space. As far as I know, it has mini games in it. But the reason that it's there is it's like an MMO meeting ground.
I was going to say, so does Second Life has mini games, but it's not what we hear about Second Life.
Oh, I didn't know that actually had content.
Oh, yeah. Second Life, I mean, it does have content, but who the hell gives a shit? There's an NFT market to be broken into. And not even
that's
NFT.
Where real money is.
It's just the mod market on Second Life. Yeah, no, it is crazy, and I remember we have talked about that. What the fuck? So, okay, do these spread? Whatever, I know we're doing a podcast, doesn't matter. Do we? Are you splitting up various modules to like go off in different directions and do different things?
Yeah, this is actually going to be 3 missions on one launch.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be sending a pilot and 3 passengers just into low orbit, and then they're going to deorbit and come home. And then I'm going to be sending 2 passengers to the space station, and then I'm going to be sending another 2 passengers to the moon. A pilot and 2 passengers to do a flyby of the moon.
Good.
There's a big old 3-part tourism mission that I'm doing.
That is one hell of a conga line.
Yeah, it's one of the fun things about this game is the debate of like, okay, do I do this as multiple smaller missions, or do I like put together one giant fucking kick-ass big rocket? Like earlier, last time I played, I did a couple missions, one to each moon around the planet, and each mission launched 4 separate satellites to the moon that all were doing different things. So, yeah, it's fun to coordinate and multitask and do stuff like that.
Oh man. It's also the chill vibes, the music in the background of Kerbal. I'm a fan, especially the slow jazz that kicks in when you first come in.
Yeah, the game has real nice ambient vibes to it. That is for sure.
Alright, so let's see. That's Ire of Disney. Sony and Nintendo are going to change their subscription renewal systems. I believe Zero posted this one.
Yeah, I read about that. They they were going to change it in a way that was going to end up costing the consumer more money. Shock. And then when they started getting investigated by the EU Trade Commission, whatever their version of that is. Yeah. They went, no, I guess we're not going to do this since we're being investigated now. And quickly about-faced.
So they were investigated by, the name of the department is in here. It's part of the UK government. Competition and Markets Authority. The CMA is what it's called in the UK. And they were investigated while they were trying to change their subscription model, and yeah, exactly what you say, Zero. They sort of did a 180 in the middle of that process, and now, if you subscribe to their PS Plus service, and you don't cancel it, but you don't use it for an entire billing period, then instead of continuing to bill you, Sony will stop taking payments and effectively cancel your PS Plus subscription. So, several years ago, I did a free subscription to Amazon Prime, and I got like 2 or 3 months free out of that, and I just forgot that I had it, and they automatically charged me for about 6 months before I noticed. This was a very long time ago. But, yeah. No more of that. In that case, if I just didn't go back to Amazon and I didn't watch any of their videos, then they would have just canceled my Amazon Plus subscription and stopped charging me. I don't think this is necessarily a bad idea.
No, I would 100% agree, but you know, it part of me is like, okay, if you're gonna have a subscription service, it's kind of your responsibility as an adult to
fucking remember that you have a subscription service.
Remember that you have a subscription service.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt when I realized. At first, I was mad at Amazon, but then I was like, no, this is clearly my fault. So there you go.
That's how they get you. They want you to forget.
They do. In this country, at least, they do. But in the UK, that won't be how it works anymore. Nintendo, on the other hand, was, this is not just Sony, but Nintendo will no longer have automatic renewal set as the default option. So when customers sign up to a Nintendo Switch Online, they will have to manually activate the auto renewal on their subscription if they want auto renewal. So yeah, that's much more adult and corporate combination. I think.
See, my sister does the smart thing when it comes to these type of services. She pays with like a Nintendo eShop card. She'll buy an eShop card once a year.
So once the card is out of money, that's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That's what I used to do with WoW, actually, because I hated how sometimes I'd want to take a break, but then, it would renew, and then I'd end up back in the game, and Zero's very familiar with this cycle.
Yes.
So I just started buying the WoW cards, and that kind of solved the problem, because when the card ran out, I just had to go get a new one, and it didn't overcharge me. Just cool.
That is a good plan.
It's actually a really excellent way to handle those particular type of subscription services.
Fun story though, they don't have those cards anymore.
Of course. Of course not. Why would they?
And you can't like your subscription, if you've got money in your, like, let's say you've got money on your battle.net account, you can't take you cannot take said money off of your battle.net account to pay for your WoW subscription.
Wow.
You have to buy a WoW token in game to, like, you take $20 of the subscription or of the money that you have on your account, you buy a WoW token, and then you change that WoW token over for a month worth of time.
I'm just so glad I stopped WoW so many years ago. So glad.
Hey, did anybody see that the last God of War game is coming to PC? Or is on PC currently?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that happened actually a while back. I've been thinking about picking it up. The PS4 God of War game was really good.
I haven't looked into it at all. We might discuss that on the next podcast, because it is a PC port. So that's... traditionally, those are hit or miss.
Yeah, like Chrono Cross. Miss. Ruined my fucking childhood. Thanks, Square.
Oh yeah, what the fuck was... Okay, so... That's something that I read a whole slew of Steam reviews on, and then a whole bunch of just internet reviews. And what's the why is the FPS so colossally bad on the PC remaster as opposed to the original game that you can play on an emulator?
So I think it has something to do, and Fluffy pointed it out, how the game defaults to your onboard graphics card.
Oh,
it doesn't
integrated graphics.
Yeah, your integrated
Okay.
graphics. It doesn't default to your whatever graphics card you have on your computer.
Wow.
So
That is unusual.
That is a little unusual, yeah.
Usually especially a game will always just use your default graphics option on your computer, which is almost always a card.
It's not something that's unheard of for me, and I forget what game it was, but I at one point had to use my my graphic card software to force a game to use the GPU rather than the integrated graphics on the CPU. So it's not unheard of, but it's definitely like, hey, what fucking year is this? Learn how to make a goddamn game, guys.
Yeah, pretty much.
So was that the only problem that it had? Because I've heard that when it comes to the Chrono Cross remake or port over to PC, that everybody like fucking hates it.
okay, so a lot of the reviews are people who expected the game to be exactly the way that it was, and they were able to just go in and everything would be the same and they would run perfectly and 100% smoothly right on the first try. It's a fucking PC port. Let's take a look at Batman Arkham Knight. It's not gonna be perfect out the gate. There are gonna be issues. I don't understand why people... They're like, oh, well, it stutters and it lags and it does this and that. Okay, well, there was a fix for that, and that was switching it from the integrated graphics to your graphics card. That was the problem. A lot of people noticed that all of that changed when they did that. That it wasn't stuttering. There wasn't FPS drop. There wasn't things like that. Input lag. And then a lot of people were like, oh, well, it's still a lot of load time in between, like you're playing on a disc still. They could have fixed that. They literally went in and updated the graphics. That's all they did.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean...
in addition to using integrated graphics, the other problem was just solid FPS was down. Like,
yeah.
It
was only running at like 30 FPS max. But that had to do with the integrated card.
Right.
You switch it over and there were people on there saying that it was running at 120 FPS. So,
Picks.
you know, I don't know. I think people who do a lot of these reviews and are, graphics snobs per se, don't.
He's the one who said it. He's the one who said it in chat. I feel
That
like
he's a graphic snob.
yes, that he's a graphic snob.
He did. I remember.
You remember?
He said it a few times, actually.
But you are too, to a degree, Doc.
Yes, I am. It's true. It's why I play City Skylines. That's why I play City Skylines instead of SimCity 3000 Ultimate Edition, because SimCity 3000 Ultimate Edition was possibly just the perfect SimCity game.
And City Skylines with a ton of mods that also introduced graphically pretty things.
Yes, City Skylines can be made to look very pretty. Also, I'm pretty sure the only reason that I keep on logging into Lost Ark is because it looks pretty.
I mean, it does. It's not gonna lie there.
It looks so pretty and weeb.
Yeah?
Oh, Jesus Christ, yeah, it does. Hey, yeah, Zero Destiny is trying to play catch up to Warframe, huh?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. The vote was between monsters and mechs this time, and for the premium content that you could get. And
It's fantastic that they finally got
mechs won out.
necromechs into the game.
Right now, you can make your guardian look like a mech.
Is it just
Cosmetic.
graphical?
No, it is all cosmetic gear.
So it doesn't. Yeah, so
So-
it's not actually mechs.
Yeah.
That's
No.
sad. All right, never mind. I'm sure they'll get around to putting necromechs in Destiny.
That's a Destiny 3 thing, I'm sure.
And
They could-
they'll
oh
be
my
just as popular then as they are now.
God. Yeah. They're kind
There's
of.
not
That's,
going to be a Destiny 3. I thought they said that they were done with Destiny as an entire thing with Destiny 2. Like, there wasn't going to be anything beyond that.
yeah, I was just about to ask. Have they talked about Destiny 3? Is that something I missed?
No, they haven't, but everybody keeps hoping that the next major Bungie announcement will be Destiny 3.
No, that's like everybody keeps on hoping. In the City Skylines community, everyone keeps on hoping that there's going to be a City Skylines 2 announcement. Like, no. Do you realize how much money Paradox can make milking DLC from their already bloated game? Possibly for the next 2 to 3 years.
It's probably an investment strategy at this point, honestly.
I'd absolutely buy that.
Sorry, sometimes every once in a while, like, my business degree will start talking, and I just can't stop it, so I apologize.
Well, good, as you should. Shame. Get Udella in here.
Yes, I want to be properly
Modish.
Oh, man. Okay, so yeah, we did actually manage to talk about Warframe and Destiny, despite not discussing Warframe and Destiny at all this week. We will be, though. Come April 27th, there will be hard-hitting commentary about the Warframe content update.
Oh, is that when Zerman drops?
Yep, that's the one.
Great. Fun times.
I think we're all cool, or at least Omega and I are cooling it on Warframe until then.
Yeah.
Even though I still need Garuda Prime. Garuda Prime.
Prime. Gotta roll them R's.
Prime.
Garuda.
Garuda.
What do you call a delivery service that is a transformer and arrives in 2 days?
Garuda.
Amazon Prime. Ha!
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, that made me sad.
Didn't you mean Amazon Prime?
Me?
Yep. We obviously miss Linus.
Yes.
He's dead, right?
Yeah, he died in an airplane crash, I think.
Oh no! Let's not say that out loud.
It's fine. He's not. Yeah, he's landed by now. It's fine.
Okay. I don't like putting that kind of shit out into the universe, man. That's tempting some kind of fate.
Also, he wasn't flying a Chinese airline.
Heyo,
That's
heyo.
too soon. That's too soon. Made myself
Yeah,
feel bad.
he was flying with the great state of Qatar.
Oh,
Wow.
Wait, what?
Damn.
shit.
Oh, for shit's sake. I mean, as long as we're going down this path, we can talk briefly about how Google Maps uncensored all of the Russian army bases and nuclear facilities from Google Maps.
I am so proud of Google right now.
That's
It's
just
kind of amazing.
I don't
The
know what
cockles
they're
of my heart were warmed.
I don't know what they're hoping to accomplish there, but it did put a smile on my face.
That's what they wanted.
I
Obviously,
mean,
they
I
were
think it's
doing
just
it
a
for
fuck you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just a nice little fuck you.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I mean, it's a bit of a tit for tat. Like, Russia has accused Google of like partaking in an information war. Blah 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 blah. So they're like, okay, you want to see an information war? Fuck it, we'll give you an information war. That's kind of how I'm seeing it.
We haven't even started to information war.
So you want to go? You want to go, old man?
Just wait till they release all the Google Analytics on all of Russia.
Ooh.
It's just
It's just a long list of weird porn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
contrary to popular belief, everyone in Russia isn't actually Googling for pictures of Vladimir Putin shirtless on a horse. Instead, they're looking at weird-ass granny porn like the rest of us.
I was about to say, all the weird porn does come from Russia. Have you watched Russian porn before?
Yes.
Okay.
Who the fuck are you talking to, Kosen?
I mean, that's valid.
I was gonna say, Doc's got terabytes upon terabytes of just Russian
I
porn.
mean, Doc has curated reviews of Russian porn.
I've considered donating like sections of my collection to porn museums, but every time I look for one, it turns out they don't exist, which I think is just a colossal oversight.
Obviously, yes.
There's a
Wait.
museum of sex in the city, but
Yes, there is.
that was an awful pun unintentionally.
Yes,
That
there
was
is.
pretty nice, actually. I liked
In
it.
New York City, there is a museum of sex. There you go. Much
There's-
better.
There is also a museum for Sex in the City.
Which is
No,
sad.
there is not.
Yes, it's where the tour buses start and stop.
No, there's actually like there's actually Sex in the City tour buses that
there
just go around to all the addresses that were like where everybody lived at the show, go to the places where different scenes happened. Yeah, that's absolutely a real thing for like
They literally just talk.
fucking middle America dumb fuck tourists.
They literally just talk about things that happened in the show while they're near the shooting location or where the location was supposed to have been shot in the show. Yeah, it's the stupidest thing in the world, and it makes me laugh. It's great.
Wow.
Pretty much at this point, I pretty much assume that Doc is responsible for indexing the porn categories, and there's pretty much nothing he hasn't seen.
Thank you. Although, you know what? There is something I've never seen. Siamese twin porn. I have never seen it.
We've
never-
talked about this.
Not real Siamese twin porn. Never seen it.
Whoa,
Yeah,
okay.
Doc and I we've searched. You and I spent some time in college looking for it. That's for damn sure.
That's when it started. Okay, when it started actually was in 11th grade senior year of high school when 4chan was invented. I went on because 4chan was like the repository of everything terrible on the internet. It continues today to be the asshole of the internet. And if you wanted it, you go to /r and you just request. You're like, hey, I've never seen Snow White getting gangbanged by Beast from Beauty and the Beast. Or Beast from X-Men, both. And people would just be like, hey, yeah, here it is. Rule 34, God bless the internet. And eventually, I was just like, I have never seen Siamese twin porn, and I don't know that it exists or anything. I've seen the fakes. There are fakes for Siamese twin porn because, I've shooped a few pixels in my day. But never anything real. So nobody could find anything on my senior year of high school. Went on to college with Omega. I brought this up with him. We searched around for it for a long time too. Could never find Siamese twin porn in college. After college, when I was when I was in college again, I was just like, yeah, I've never seen this before. Nobody could find any. Still can't find any to this day. Damnedest thing. There's porn of everything. Rule 34 has very few exceptions. Siamese twins is one of them.
That is...
We just need to get someone to offer some Siamese twins who are down on their luck enough money.
I mean, they've got medical bills, so you would assume that someone would have done it.
That's how capitalism works.
I'm not talking about like specifically. I don't need like a male or female. I just either like a pair of Siamese twin brothers or a pair of Siamese twin sisters who are in a sex scene, not even doing anything with each other. Even though incest porn is still really hot right now, I still can't figure out why.
I'm stuck in the washing machine step, bro. Help me.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Getting stuck porn? What the fuck is that supposed to... You're expecting me to believe that you crawled that far into your washing machine and you've got at least a foot of clearance over your back and you can't figure out a way out of there? No, I'm sorry. Suspension of disbelief is just completely broken.
Now, okay, so the only way that it would be believable, okay, is if you started mixing genres, like BBW and getting stuck in the washer.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the only way I could legitimately see, but then that gets into maybe she's stuck in there because she was waiting, or she got stuck and she was waiting on the EMT and the EMT happened to, it starts crossing all kinds of genres.
Here's what we can do. Because there's faux beast out there. Obviously, bestiality is illegal in the United States. Actually, most places in the world. But there's faux beast out there where, like a person dresses up as a furry. Like, that's fine, because it's role-playing. So, we have a BBW.
It's not fine. Don't give furries a pass.
No, I know they're all scum, but for the purposes of this conversation, we're going to use them. We have a BBW.
I don't kink shame, except for furries, and they should really be ashamed of themselves.
And they're not. And they are not. That's the problem.
Okay, so BBW gets stuck in a wardrobe because she's trying to get to Narnia, and Mr. Tumnus is trying to help her get out, but in the process of assisting her, his penis goes into her.
I'm pretty sure there is actual porn of that.
If not, someone's written the fanfic.
Alright, Kosen, I'm gonna need you to go to Rule 34. The real one. Rule34.fail, not .xxx. There are two sites, and one of them is legit, one is not.
I kind of want to know how he knows this.
I'm very opinionated about
this. What do you mean, Zero? Like, you want to know how he knows this? I'll give you a hint. It's a really simple answer, because Doc has been there to that website.
Darn too.
The answer is first-person experience.
The answer is whenever I'm curious if something exists as porn, I immediately go to Rule34.fail.
I didn't even realize that was a fucking thing.
Oh, it's a great thing. The internet is fantastic. Best thing we ever invented. Giant intercontinental communications network that we use to talk about poop and watch porn.
Right. It's a giant international cum bucket.
Oh, that's just great. Hey, how come there's no recycling service for, like, used condoms or used tissue paper or towels, bounty towels, whatever people use these days to dry their spum off their keyboards? How come there's no recycling service for that?
Good question.
I bet you could use it as like fertilizer or something.
So anyways,
compostable. Yeah, no, that That would almost make sense. I mean, everything's compostable if you try hard enough.
I mean, on a long enough timeline, everything composts.
Yeah, it was,
One day, all of the molecules in the universe will be disassociated into energy that disperses into nothingness as entropy kills us all.
Correct.
Even my cum?
Well, now that we've got
Okay,
that to look forward to.
So to answer your question,
Oh my God, Kosen actually did it!
Thank you, Kosen.
the specific one you were looking for, no.
Mr.
But there
Tumnus,
is-
BBW?
Yeah, that one, unfortunately, no, there is not. But there is Mr. Tumnus Rule 34 porn out there.
Do you have, what's the name of the lion? Azoth or something? I want
Aslan.
Aslan, yeah. I want Mr. Tumnus. I want Aslan blowing Mr. Tumnus.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
We're going down a really dark hole here.
Zero?
Yeah,
Zero,
yes, we are.
we've been down a dark hole for a very long time.
And speaking of dark holes, Tucker Carlson has put out a trailer for one of his new documentaries. His documentary is called The End of Man, or The End of Men. Yeah, The End of Men. And he put it out, and it's been mocked as homoerotic by the right, and by the gay community, it's just been identified as pretty cool.
Tuesday night?
It's Saturday night.
So the teaser just featured, basically it's all the men pictured are shirtless, and they're either wrestling or chopping firewood or firing guns. And at one point, a naked man is captured standing with his arms outstretched while his genitals are charged at what some called a Tesla charging station.
That's more or less what it looks like.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I've never seen a Tesla charging station, which is probably why I've never had the idea to put my penis inside of one.
Well, okay, you remember when it became like a bit of a news story that they made basically dick sucking machines for sperm donation?
Yes. I
So
enthusiastically tried one of those out. It was great.
It looks like a combination of one of those machines and a Tesla charger. It's like he's standing in front of one of those machines that's glowing a red Tesla, that red Tesla logo neon color on his junk. It's pretty hilarious.
That's fantastic.
I bet that will spark the reviews.
No, and it did. Very good. Wait a minute, where is it? There it is.
Acceptable.
It did
Amazing.
spark some excellent reviews because George Takei tweeted out, "This is so gay."
Okay, if you've got George Takei saying that, yeah, no.
I was really happy when I read that George Takei had tweeted directly at this because, yeah, that is a voice in the gay community that I respect. So, this is just great. Do fascists get off on Tucker's weird video? Walter Schwab tweeted. A guy shoves his junk in a light box, a narrator says hard repeatedly, one chugs water like beer at a frat house, two writhe shirtless, and one squeezes a cow udder with no bucket, so just for fun, and one shoots at jugs of yellow oil.
I mean, that's the actual trailer. I watched it.
is,
It's in there. It's like it's a trailer. It's only a couple minutes. It is so gay. And
So
like,
we're
there's
learning
nothing wrong with that, except when
Right.
like the person who's making the thing that's so gay is, has made a career off of being and supporting anti-gay viewpoints.
Yeah, the reason that this is so funny, it's not because, oh, ha ha ha, Tucker Carlson's gay. No, it's because, ha ha ha, Tucker Carlson is probably gay, even though he's been gay bashing for how long? Fucking long time.
Self-loathing
Well,
homosexual.
I mean,
I
have you
it's a
ever seen
thing.
Lindsey Graham?
Lady G? Yes, I'm familiar. Still think
I
that's
mean-
great. I love all the interviews that they put up. That article came and went and died, but they had so many interviews with so many working men in the DC area who are just like, yeah, we totally know who Lindsey Graham is. Oh, so this is great.
I mean,
anyway, keep an
I
eye
believe
out
it.
for Tucker Carlson's new documentary about the end of men and the decrease in testosterone in our society and why he's got some stupid theory about how we're all being pussified, and because of that pussification, then new, harder, stronger, more muscly men are gonna evolve and put us back on track.
Wait, hang on. The pussification? Okay. I love that word, first of all. Secondly, the first time I ever heard that word was George Carlin. Talking about the pussification of the American male through Harley Davidson theme restaurants, and how it devolved into him talking about how men now have weak ass fucking names like Todd and Tucker. And
Oh, that's right. George actually did say Tucker, didn't he?
Yep. He said Tucker was a weak ass name for weak ass man.
Oh man. Anyway,
there are times I wish George was still alive today to make fun of all the bullshit that we have to hear and deal with.
I don't know, man. Towards the end there, it got kind of sad. He wasn't funny. He was just angry. It got a little rough.
He did get a little. He was disenchanted. When I don't know how old he actually got, but it seemed like his last couple specials he was at least 90. And yeah, but
heroin is a hell of a drug, kids.
The point is, he was a comedian.
Wait, he was a coke guy.
Yeah, he was
hard
a coke
guy. But just about everyone was in the 1970s and 80s. Look at Robin Williams.
Plenty of guys lost to heroin, many recently. But yeah, I think he was a coke guy mostly.
That's a weird thing for drug patterns in the U.S. is that, yeah, in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, all the white guys were really into cocaine, and then there was a switch over to heroin. Now, these days, white people love them some heroin.
And meth.
Yeah, don't forget the meth.
If you're south of a certain geological landmarker, then yeah, it's definitely meth.
Just say it, Doc. South of the Mason-Dixon. Come on.
Meth is huge in the Midwest.
No. See, yeah, meth it's less south, but it's mostly when you start moving west.
Yeah.
Like west is where you really get into the meth country.
Can they not afford heroin?
Flyover states where there's nothing there. Yeah, that's where meth is real big.
So here's the problem.
Also in urban gay communities. Fun fact.
That's news. That's news to me.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us more about the urban gay community.
I mean, no, just it's like a known reality that gay communities are certain elements of the gay community, I'll say, are heavily drenched in doing a lot of drugs as they party.
There's nothing wrong with that. I was going to say, all right, fine, heroin could be super popular in the Midwest because, yeah, you don't have a lot of, routes. You don't have a lot of drug smuggling routes that are coming directly in there, and plus there's a lot more profit to be made in dense population centers. Also, poppies don't really grow anywhere around there. However, you got everything that you need at the drugstore to make meth.
Yeah.
You can make meth in a water bottle, according to Breaking Bad.
I don't know how scientifically accurate Breaking Bad was.
It was on TV. How dare you?
Well, I know it started off very accurate, but they were deliberately leaving out a few specific
because they didn't want to teach
directions. People. Yeah, they left a few specific steps out of the process, but for the most part, they were quite scientifically accurate. Like the chemicals they were using, the precursors, the jargon that they were using was all very accurate. But yeah, they left out some of the special secret sauce moments of how to make meth.
Oh man. Wait, what was wrong with the last launch?
I had my fuel lines backwards,
Oh,
So
no.
instead of
gotcha.
pulling fuel into the main tank, there's pulling fuel out of the main tank.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, once you're on like fuel lines, there's a really great technique where you run a fuel line from your you basically can stop using solid rocket boosters and you switch to liquid boosters and you put a fuel line. So your main tank is draining from the side tanks as it's burning, as the side tanks are also draining through their own engines. So once the side tanks are empty, they fall off and you have the entire full fuel tank of the central tank still, of the central engine still left to burn. So it's by far the most efficient way to launch.
Jeez. Okay. So you got a couple orbit there. Nice. Okay. Last thing on the list was. Oh, well, the last thing on the list was the Tucker Carlson article, but that was supposed to be the last. But now the one that was supposed to come before that is the Diablo 4 update, which is fine. It's good. It's fine. There's some stuff happening.
I'm hoping they announce the actual release date here soon.
I continue to believe that it's too soon. So Diablo 4 was announced 15 months ago. I fully expect it to be at least 24 to 36 months before they give us a release date.
Yeah, I think it's way too soon as well.
However, this article does say that it's approximately 200 people on the team that are now fully dedicated to existing Blizzard games. Wait, dedicated to existing Blizzard games or dedicated to Diablo 4?
Well, I know they pulled on the team that was working on D2 Resurrected. That was actually a third-party studio that was contracted, but they actually bought them and have brought them into while working on continuing Diablo 2, but they are specifically brought on also for Diablo 4.
Right, so they're effectively going to replace the now defunct Classic Games division that's been working on the remaster of Diablo, for example. So yeah, they have a team that are coming in to bolster the ranks of the old Classic Games division, and yeah, it looks like they're also working on Diablo 4. Substudio gained high praise for its success of Diablo 2 Resurrected, partially its graphical improvements, and is currently working on Diablo 4. So there you go. It is too soon to say when Diablo 4 will be coming out, but we know that there is now a large team of people working on it, which is good. I just hope when it comes out that it is, even though the structure of Diablo 3 was faulty when it launched, i.e. real money auction house, the game itself was finished. It didn't like crash in the middle of playing it. It didn't have bugs. Well, it didn't have serious bugs. And it had a myriad of patches that came out and addressed things within the first couple months, but there was nothing game-breaking on launch, so that's the most we can hope for these days for Diablo 4.
I'm waiting with. I'm holding my breath for the announcement tomorrow for WoW's new expansion.
What are your predictions, Zero?
Not to be disappointed.
Yeah.
That's a good.
That low now.
That's a good call, Masami. You should just get 0, because we talked about doing the podcast tomorrow, but it wasn't possible. But tomorrow will be the launch of whatever WoW's next expansion is. I don't know. I don't play WoW. I don't care. But 0, it would be fun if you made your predictions, and then we can talk next week about which predictions were in line and which were not.
Okay, so let me get to my notes. Give me just a minute.
All right.
Oh my God,
You
there's
have
no-
notes?
I have notes.
0 is a very organized individual.
You guys have no idea. My OCD is fucking real.
I've got a little bit of an idea.
Okay, so
Go, rocket, go.
It's a really cool looking rocket.
There's Notepad. Okay, so first note is that it is going to be called Dragon Flight, Dragon Isles, Dragon something. It's going to have to do with dragons.
Dragon Fright.
They just the leaks have been way too for that name. So it's either going to be Dragon Flight or Dragon Isles will be the name of the actual expansion. No new level cap. They're going to keep everything at 60. So that won't change. The leveling, the way that you'll do leveling, it will be done through the different areas. You'll have red, green, bronze, and red, green, bronze, and blue dragonflights, and you'll do the story through. You'll pick one of the flights that you want to work with, and then you will level through that, or you will go through the story as you are part of that particular flight. Blue, magic, green, life, bronze, time, red. Oh God, what was red?
Doom?
Blood for the blood god?
No, skulls for the skull throne. I think it wasn't fire. Renewal. It was yeah, the renewal.
It's basically fire.
I mean, yes and no, but there are theories, but I'm not going to get into that because I could spend 2 hours on that alone.
Go for it. I gotta go take a shit.
The whole story will center around Rathian, the last of the black dragons, one of the last black dragons. There are like 3 left that were uncorrupted. Finding out that some major power that is trying to reform the chromatic dragonflight is now trying to get back in power. We're going to face chromatic dragons, and that will be part of the raid. Then player housing will be introduced, finally, after being talked about for years. And then there will be several new single spec classes, like Tinker, Minstrel, and like a heal mage type deal. So those will be introduced as well. And those are the basic predictions. Those are just from what has been data mined. The new areas won't be so new because it will be places like Lordaeron being revisited after Sylvanas pretty much destroyed it and salted the earth with the Blight Plague. And then pretty much what they're thinking is going to happen is the same thing that happened at the Wrathgate, which is the red dragonflight's going to come in and just burn the entirety of the ground in that area so that the plague is no longer there. And then the rebuilding of Lordaeron will start. Since Arthas is no longer alive, there's no telling who would take over as the new, quote, king of Lordaeron. There's rumor that he has a sister, but nobody knows. She's not been seen or data mined in game, so yes, that is me right now. But and
I
then
love you, you know.
Kel'Thalas is also going to the High Elf homeland is also going to be a focal point for all of this. So
Interesting.
the pretty much what it will boil down to is the Scourge, because the Lich King is no longer in power over the Scourge. The Scourge is going to slowly move from Northrend, and they're going to start spreading out, but they're going to be looking for places of high magic. And Kel'Thalas is where the Sunwell is, and the Sunwell is the major source of power. Teldrassil has been burned, so
Yeah, that's right.
there is no higher source of power right now, and the Scourge are going to be looking for seats of power to overthrow. Even though they're mindless, they focus on areas of power.
Yeah.
So
It makes sense.
yeah. So that's just where everything is. I don't think we're going to get that much information. I'm guessing release will be sometime between August and December of this year. Because they've been working on this since before patch 9.2.
By the way, this is kind of off topic, but it's still still within the WoW thing. Did they actually end up killing Sylvanas in the end of her arc?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, and it irritated a lot of people. She ended up surviving, and she was shown mercy after she burned Teldrassil, and Tyrande invoked the Night Warrior and said, "I'm going to kill Sylvanas." She was able to survive being the Night Warrior, because normally being the Night Warrior ends up killing the host.
Right.
And Tyrande ended up saying, "Okay, you burned Teldrassil and sent all of these souls straight to the Maw. Guess what you get to do until all of them are back?" And sent her into the Maw, and literally all Sylvanas is doing is collecting the souls of all of the people that she sent to the Maw that weren't able to be judged and sent to the proper home within the Shadowland.
That's interesting.
So they've essentially taken Sylvanas and said, "Okay, we've made you whole again. The part that was ripped out of you when Arthas killed you is now back together with the Forsaken part of you. You are whole again spiritually, and we are just going to put you on a shelf because your story is done. Now we've got to get back to
important shit,
like the person who's sitting on the throne right now of Stormwind being a zealot for the light." And yeah, if the in-game dialogue predictions are true, there's going to be a war between light and dark, and light is not going to be the good team.
I'm a fan of that. I like storylines like that.
So
there you go. Alright, so the Kerbal Space launch it's looking like a success.
Yeah, I got my first group in orbit, and they're just going to chill out for an hour, and then they'll be coming home. They got another 55 minutes. And I'm currently on a trajectory next orbit around to intersect the space station that I will be docking with to drop off another 2 passengers, and then the remainder here, another 2 passengers and a pilot, will then continue on to do a flyby of the moon before returning home.
Nice. And the last thing for the evening is Kosen, why is your Discord avatar now Christopher Hivju?
Because I felt Swedish? I think he's Swedish, right? Yes.
Good question. Is he?
I don't know. I think he's a brilliant actor.
Norwegian. He's a Norwegian.
Norwegian. Yeah. I think he's a brilliant actor. He did Nevillin in the second season of Witcher really well. And of course, Tormund, the Giant Slayer, or Giant Bane, or
Giant
whatever his
Bane.
title. Yeah. He was also pretty good.
Or Tormund's Thunderfist, also.
Yeah. He was pretty good in Game of Thrones, too, as well. I don't know. I'm just appreciating the man. He's very handsome.
He is a handsome man, that is true. He could have gotten a little more jacked for Game of Thrones. I'll say that, because Tormund is supposed to have enormous arms. But that's okay. You know what? Did a good job. Anyway, yeah, he was born in Oslo, apparently. Nice guy. He's also on a police drama on one of the BBC networks. I can't remember the name of it right now.
I think my favorite part of this current image is if you, like, make it as big as you can manage. Like, it's kind of got the crazy eye going on, and it's just hilarious.
Oh, good times.
There it is.
Yay!
Look at that docking sequence.
Okay. So yeah, now's the time in the evening when we all watch Kerbal. So thank you everybody for joining us. It was a pleasure. It was a good time.
Yeah. No, this is very relaxing.
It is. We're gonna chill out in space, and I'm sure that nothing horrible or unexpected will happen.
Everything will go according to plan.
2 of your astronauts look like they are having the best time ever and loving life, and one of them, I'm pretty sure, had a whole lot of heroin before he launched.
Well, these are the 2 tourists, and Rodfin is the pilot, so he's collected. He's good.
Wait, does that one have a mustache?
Yeah.
That is brilliant.
Oh no, he totally does. Yeah, look at that.
Oh my gosh,
awesome.
it's not just a mustache, it is a chop stash.
Oh yeah, it goes down.
They
yeah,
go
yeah.
completely down.
It's like nobody remembers Firefly at all, but it's like the character of Monty.
Ah, yes.
Yes, Monty.
Everybody loves Monty.
Yes, it's the full Monty.
Yeah, the post show is going to be Kerbal and Rule 34. All right, thank you everybody for coming along. We'll be here at the same time as all the rest of that. Penis, fuck Putin.
Fuck
Yes.
Putin.
But
Fuck Putin.